All right, just got out of the theater seeing They Will Kill You. It's a new movie with Zazie Beetz as the main actress. And just like the thumbnail pretty much implies, and you'll probably hear a lot of comparisons to these movies that I'm about to compare it to, but that's because they're very reminiscent of Evil Dead 2, which I feel like they didn't market it at all to be like Evil Dead 2. There's a whole lot of over-the-top gore, just splatterfest, which is extremely entertaining and fun. Very Sam Raimi adjacent. So Evil Dead 2, Ready or Not, for obvious reasons, which is crazy that it came out a week's difference of Ready or Not 2, which you haven't seen yet. And Kill Bill, because of just a lot of martial arts action scenes, which is just a cool mixture. What are your thoughts?
I like the movie a lot. I personally think the gore was a bit over the top, but in my opinion, I really like over the top gore. It's one of the best things in horror movies that I like. But at the same time, I do think they went a little far. Could have focused on the plot more.
I feel like the ending is going to lose a lot of people as far as like how much they really enjoyed it. I feel like the first two scenes are a lot of things that you would expect based off the trailers. There's a lot of, I'm not going to say that they gave away all of the good stuff in the trailers, but they did give a good amount of it away. I think there's still enough to save it overall, but that third act, I did start to question, what am I doing here? Like, what am I watching? This is like, it's almost like a dream. It's like so many things are happening and you know they're happening, but you can't like put a finger on like what is actually going on. The bad guys in this movie, they're kind of like the skeleton turtles in Mario, where you just kind of bloop, and then they fall apart, and then like a minute later they're like, and then they just pick up and they just keep going. So that's a kind of pretty cool twist. So everybody's going to compare it mainly to Ready or Not, which is fair because there is Zazie Beetz, who is a badass female character running away from a bunch of Satanists and cult of devil worshippers. And so there's so many similarities in that regard, but it does enough to stand out where you still are going to leave this movie like it's got its own identity enough to still leave it and say, I've never seen anything quite like this. You've seen, again, Evil Dead 2, the over-the-top gore. A whole lot of the comedy is just from her reacting to the insane situations that she's in. And as far as Ready or Not, plot-wise, obviously there's that. And then, like I said, Kill Bill. I do like a lot of the action scenes, how they're kind of shot from the wide angle as opposed to like right in your face where you can't really see what's going on. And I do think it was lit fairly well for the most part. The middle fight scene actually takes, as far as like lighting, and puts it to like a literal pretty cool level. So you got any thoughts you want to throw in there, bud?
I was going to say I did love a lot of the kills. They seemed very creative, and I'm not going to lie, there were a lot of kills I thought were going to happen but didn't, and there was a lot of kills I didn't think were going to happen and did. And it's just so insane. The finale is just so insane, and it's hard to understand, but when you do understand it, I think it's a very good ending to a movie like this.
It's basically, you can't have any sort of like, oh, that can never happen, because if you do, you will not enjoy this movie. You need to just turn your brain off and just have a little bit of stupid fun. The only downside, I would say, I think a lot of the dialogue, surprisingly, is extremely just, it's almost AI-ish, very like bland. Like you've heard every single thing that a character says in this movie in a sentimental way, like, I love you, you shouldn't have left me, I know I shouldn't have, now let's just go kill for like another 30 minutes and then we're going to come back and be like, oh, let's talk about the very, first 2 minutes of the movie for another second, talk about how much we love each other, and then we're going to keep going. Nothing special there at all. You're literally just here for the wacky and zany kills, so you will get that. I think you will have a lot of smiles on your face. It's just that kind of movie, and like I said, it's a mixture of a bunch of great movies that forms its own identity. I think just enough to leave it saying like, this is good. I liked it. Any final thoughts?
Well, besides that was a very intense and insane movie. No.
There you go. Tell me what you think of the movie They Will Kill You. Later.